I am broke. I have no income. I have no income. I have no alimony because Mr. Haas didn't want to pay alimony. My rights have been just totally infringed upon. I went, okay, I had no money. Mr. Haas would not give me money for a lawyer.
So we're not on the record yet, but we have a motion to compel. So Ms. Thompson, are you going to have any testimony from anybody or just arguments?
Just arguments. Yeah, well, there will be some testimony from the realtor, but other than that, just arguments.
Okay, and then Ms. Haas, Angela Haas, you want to unmute? And are you going to have any witnesses? You're still muted. Like your lips are moving, but nobody can hear anything. You're still muted.
Okay, there. I'm using my daughter's computer, so it's not Angela, it's Rhonda.
Okay. And so are you going to have any witnesses?
Just myself and some documents that I sent as exhibits to the court.
Okay. And so, Ms. Thompson, have you got those exhibits?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so are they, is that something that I can get, that I can look at?
They were sent to the court clerk as well, or Maria, or whoever it goes to.
Okay, I mean, because I don't see anything in the file, so I'm not sure if it's, I know you can look at exhibits somehow on Zoom if they're downloaded or something.
I don't know.
All right, so let me get.
I asked to appear in court, but I was not given the right to appear in court.
Welcome back to the courtroom, where today's case is anything but ordinary. We're diving into the messy, emotional, and financially complicated divorce of Bruce and Rhonda Hose. Right from the start, you can see Rhonda is under immense stress. She claims she has no income, no alimony, and absolutely no financial support. And it gets worse. She's trying to navigate legal proceedings without proper access to documents or even a computer she's comfortable using.
Send the documents. I don't know. I'm not that computer savvy at the moment. I don't have access to all of these things, but I did send copies of the documents.
Okay, well, I don't have any of those, and you
could
have shown up, and we're going to go ahead and so Ms. Thompson and Ms. Haas, get your witnesses. Let me get them to raise their right hands. Okay, do you and each of you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Yes.
And Ms. Belusic? Oh, and Ms. Belusic, you're muted. If you're still muted, this is okay. So this is why I hate doing stuff by Zoom. So you're still muted, Ms. Belusic. I can see you're talking, but can't hear it.
Is that there now?
Now I can. Okay.
Okay. Sorry about that.
All right. So this is cause number 2022L8099, the matter of the marriage of Bruce Haas and Rhonda Haas. And so Ms. Belusic and Ms. Haas have been sworn. So Ms. Thompson, you may proceed.
Your Honor, so just briefly, I'll give an opening. So we were here before you a few months ago on a motion to compel to sell what was the marital residence. And we set some amounts and we set a stair step, and the house still has not sold. And Mr. Haas is still being 100% responsible for all of the bills, utilities, and maintenance in the house. And at this point, there is an offer on the house from, I believe, an investor, and that amount is a little bit lower than what we set when we were here last time. So we're asking the court for permission to drop the price of the house so that the house can go ahead and sell. If you recall the last time we were here, we've already talked about the all tactics and the techniques that have been used so that Mrs. Haas can continue to live for free. And so we're asking the court to put a stop to that.
And I see here that the drop 45 and 530. So what is the offer you have now?
I believe the offer right now, Your Honor.
Right off the bat, we see the challenges of remote court proceedings. Witnesses and parties are muted, tech is failing, and Rhonda is struggling with a computer, explaining she's not familiar with Zoom or online filing systems. This scene highlights a real problem in the justice system: accessibility. How can someone fully participate when they're expected to navigate digital systems under stress? And notice the tension building: exhibits are missing from the record, she can't verify her documents, and the judge is trying to make sense of it all. Viewers, what would you do if your legal rights were hindered just because of technology barriers?
Okay, and for the original order that was presented to the court, you followed the prior order with the step down amount?
Correct.
And is there a current offer on the house?
Yes, there is, for $480,000 cash.
Okay. And do you believe at this time that that's a reasonable offer on the home?
I do just because there is a lot of updating needed, and the investor brought in a contractor and showed all the different things kind of needing to be done. So I feel like he's going to put a lot of money into it. So I do feel it's fair.
Okay. And do you believe that at this point they could get, please strike that from the record. The amount of time that the house has been listed, is that a normal amount of time for a house to be listed?
In this market, yes. I do feel like it would have gone a lot quicker had it been lower.
Okay. No further questions. I pass the witness.
So Ms. Haas, do you have questions for Ms. Belusic?
Well, yeah, okay, Ms. Belusic. If you were to look at the outside exterior of the house and the landscaping and whatnot, is that what you would find standard to putting a house on the market for sale in our area?
No, I mean, it definitely needs curb appeal. And trimmed up, yes, it needs definite curb appeal.
So in your assessment and looking at the landscaping just on the outside, not to even look at what needs to be done with the house, the landscaping on the outside is not what it should be.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Thompson?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. So Ms. Haas, do you want to give some testimony?
I would, yes, I would love to. In this whole divorce situation, there's been a lot of things going on that have happened that are shady, for what I say. The last time before I appeared before court, I had gone in to get some information to properties that have been sold in the area.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to narrative and to relevance. Number one, this issue's already been litigated, and none of the testimony being presented is what we're before the court for today.
Excellent.
It
Objection
is very
sustained.
important. Can I continue?
Well, there are objections sustained, so you can continue.
Now, the focus shifts to the property itself. The court is hearing from the realtor about a house that's been listed for nearly 3 months. There's an investor offer of $480,000, which may seem fair given the repairs needed, but it's below the prior expectations. The drama here is palpable. Ms. Hose is effectively living in the house rent-free, bills are piling up on Bruce, and the court is asked to step in. The testimony is straightforward, yet it's clear that emotions and financial stress are intertwined. This is a perfect example of how divorce proceedings often mix legal technicalities with personal grievances.
Right now, my husband is shown to be the only person on the deed. I sent a document to the court showing the loan papers that I am to be on the deed.
So have you looked in the clerk's office for the deed to the property?
Bruce Haas is here. He has the document and he could testify to the fact that it was sent to him with his
Nope.
name only.
Do you have a copy of the deed where you
I
and your
do not
husband
at the
obtained
moment.
the property?
I do not at the moment. I am broke. I have no income. I have no income. I have no alimony because Mr. Haas didn't want to pay alimony. So when we
Your Honor,
went to
again, I'm gonna
mediation,
to relevance.
We're
and-
going to go off the record. There's no way we can do this on the record. So instructing the court reporter to stop. Okay, so you don't have a deed. Why do you say your name is not on the title?
I went into the assessor's office to get information. We have a cash sale for the house behind us that went for $500,000+. That was not on record. I could not get access to anything because I was told that I do not have, my name is not on the deed.
Okay, if you came to the tax assessor's office, why didn't you come to the courthouse and look for the deed?
I did go in.
Okay.
I did go in.
Okay.
And I do have the original paperwork that I gave the court a copy of it. That shows not, which I know at this point, we don't have to get, I just want you to know that fact. Also.
Okay, well, I don't know any facts yet. And I'm still asking the question. So you came to the courthouse, you looked at the deed, and you're saying your name is not.
I did not get, they told me I could have access to the room. I did not have time, or stress is not good for me. Stress, I have been in and out of the emergency room prior to this divorce, and I am not to get stressed because I will end up back in the emergency room. So these court settings are very upsetting.
It would be too stressful to come to the courthouse and look at a deed?
At the time I was at the courthouse, I decided that I would go to the title company to find out what happened. So I went to Bott's Title in Sealy and had them pull all of the documents to our mortgage. Somewhere along the way, the official loan paperwork has been changed.
Your Honor,
Whether it's from Chase.
I said we're not on the record, so you don't need to object to anything. But what does a loan have to do with title to the property?
Okay, I don't know if Mr. Haas has done some finagling behind the scenes.
Okay, but what does just wait a minute. What does the loan have to do with title to the property?
Even seemingly minor details become critical in court. Here, the discussion about the landscaping and curb appeal might seem trivial, but it's actually a reflection of the larger conflict. The realtor points out the yard is not up to market standards, which could influence the sale price. Ms. Hose challenges this, showing she's paying attention to every detail that could affect the outcome. Moments like these illustrate how even small physical details of a property can have legal and financial consequences. Courtroom watchers, what's your take? Does this sound like overanalyzing or a smart move to protect her interests?
I was told that, there's a clause there that says that I was supposed to have an attorney present. I was told that I could not because you ordered it. It was judge ordered. I didn't need to have an attorney. Therefore, I was kept for 12 hours. And right after, and I can even show you, not that you care, two emergency room ordeals prior to going to court, and then ordered to talk to Jasmine in the back of the room. And I was treated like I had no rights. I could not speak. I was ordered to go to mediation. And there was no agreement between Mr. Haas and myself in this, quote, pro se divorce. My rights have been just totally infringed upon. I went, okay, I had no money. Mr. Haas would not give me money for a lawyer. I went down to the bakery where the lawyer for people that don't have any money and representation are supposed to go. So I went there. And what did the guy say? His first comment was, is there any property involved? And I said, yes, 2 pieces of property. What was I told? Get an attorney. And I told him, I said, well, I would if I had money, but I don't have a job. I don't have a job. My husband does. Yeah, no, there was no money for an attorney for me. So I went to another attorney in Belleville. What do they say? $4,400 up front, but oh, you'll get the money back. Okay, well, I don't have it. I don't have it. And my life is more important than fighting Mr. Haas for this property. But in the duration of this whole situation, degrading situation as it is, to have to come before you, not knowing the law, but having to represent myself. And at the same time, know that there is all kinds of things going on behind the scenes. Prior to this divorce, we had a house in Colorado that was sold.
This is where the courtroom really heats up. Rhonda finally starts her testimony, describing the history of her financial struggle and her sense that her rights have been infringed. She speaks about prior court interactions, emphasizing her lack of access to legal counsel and physical documents. Notice how objections are raised and sustained. This is typical in high-stakes cases, and it keeps both parties in check. The drama here isn't just financial, it's emotional, highlighting frustration, stress, and the human side of legal battles. Audience, take a moment. Can you empathize with her struggle to be heard, or do you see procedural gaps on both sides?
Because he signs for the loan all by himself. I also sent
What do you say the house should be sold for? The current residence, the marital residence.
Personally, I don't have a house to live in, and he just bought a $600,000 house.
Okay.
I find that a problem. Where did he get the money?
Okay.
It's not listed. He says retirement.
The question
fund.
today is, what price should the house be sold at? We went from 560 to 545 to 530 without any offers, and now there's an offer for 480,000.
Yeah, and it's funny. Yeah, there were some people that came to the house, and I couldn't even find out who they were in my house. They were looking for documents. I know they were. I can't prove it. But you can ask Miss Belusic, because I called her. I recognized a truck that had driven up to my house, asking about a truck that my husband supposedly owned, but my daughter owned it. So I don't know. Maybe you can add some information to this, Bruce.
Okay, what is the price that you think the house should be listed at now?
Well, given that he won't do any repairs and he won't do the landscaping to the house is not worth much in this market. I have tried to come to an agreement with him to change the percentages on the sale of the house, but he won't budge. I personally think that the percentages for the sale, I want out.
Now the story gets even more complex. Rhonda claims her name has been removed from the property title, yet there's conflicting paperwork, missing deeds, and questions about loan documentation. The back and forth here is intense, with the judge trying to clarify facts while Rhonda expresses fear of financial ruin. She repeatedly emphasizes that she's being forced into poverty and doesn't have the resources for an attorney. This segment showcases how technical details like loan papers and property deeds can become central points of conflict in divorce cases. And it raises the question, how often do these bureaucratic hurdles leave one party at a severe disadvantage?
Ago or so, there was a divorce decree signed, and we had procedures in here to sell the house. The house is not sold yet, and that's the issue today. So what are you saying the value of the house is that it can be sold at?
Well, the mediated settlement and the agreement at that time was that the house would be listed for 700 and something thousand, with the fact that Mr. Haas and Jasmine picked out that price because they insisted it could be sold for that. So everything within the agreement of the mediation was based on the sale of the house being at 700 and something thousand. So what I would have earned out of the Utah property percentage was put to the house here. So of course, as the price of the house goes down and down and down and down, because Mr. Haas will not do anything to the house to improve the value of the house, I'm being forced to keep to those percentages that are not fair. So I asked you, in fairness, that the house, I can deal with the house being sold. I can go with it. It was, they came to a price. I had nothing to do with this price. It was worked out with Mr. Haas and whoever. But I can sell this house to the investor, but I think the percentages of what is coming from that should be increased on my part. I have no job. I have been sick.
The divorce was done back in December. So the time to change any of those numbers is long past. So if you're agreeing to sell the house for $480, then
yeah, I know. If I get money for a civil case, I can take it to civil case, but I don't want to.
Okay. So Ms. Thompson, what's it going to take to get the house sold at $480?
Can I defer to Ms. Belusic on that?
All right.
Yes. I mean, parties just getting the contract signed by the sellers and presenting it and getting it done. It's a cash deal, so it will go very quickly. My concern is her having time to get out of the house.
Plus, I have no money to move, so that will have to come somewhere up front, or I'll have to have time after the closing. I have no money. I have no job because of my health. So,
Your Honor, if I can just add, Mr. Haas has been footing all of the bills for 2 years in the residence, and we've known for at least a year now that we were going to sell the residence.
This portion of the transcript is emotionally raw. Rhonda repeatedly references her health, prior emergency room visits, and the intense stress caused by legal proceedings. She claims her rights have been totally infringed and describes attempts to find legal help when funds were unavailable. These moments are heart-wrenching but also pivotal for understanding the stakes. Court watchers, notice the pattern: stress, financial vulnerability, and legal procedure collide. It's a reminder that behind every divorce case, there's a human story, often overlooked in the technicalities of law. In summary, this case demonstrates the intersection of legal procedure, property disputes, and human vulnerability. We've seen a house tied up in financial disagreements, missing documents, Zoom chaos, and a party struggling to assert her rights under intense stress. The judge must balance fairness, evidence, and the practicalities of selling the property, all while managing courtroom decorum. This case isn't just about real estate, it's about access to justice, clarity in legal documentation, and ensuring both parties are treated equitably. If you found this case as shocking as we did, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.